Hello, and welcome to the 2021 Harford County Good Scout Award virtual presentation. My name is Monica Worrell, the Business Development Director for APG Federal Credit Union. I want to thank you for watching today, and we hope that you are safe and healthy. This year, our Harford County Good Scout event is, of course, different. In keeping safety in mind, our organizing committee agreed that a formal dinner with 250 of our community members and closest friends in one room was just not practical this year. We are thrilled to still be able to put together this presentation to honor this year's recipient. Now, before we get started, I'd like to introduce Scouts from Troops 313 and 1920, both chartered to Christ Our King Presbyterian Church in Bel Air, Maryland, for our opening. Immediately following the opening, we will have an opening prayer from Corporal Robert Kovacs from the Harford County Sheriff's Office.
Color guard attention. Color guard advance. Color guard post the colors. Scout salute. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
If you are or ever were a scout or scouter, we hope you will join us in the scout oath. Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2.
If you are or ever were a scout or scouter, we hope you will join us in the scout law. Scout sign. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
Troop 313 and 1920 would like to extend their congratulations to Eddie Hopkins as this year's Good Scout. We'd also like to thank all the sponsors and contributors who helped make scouting possible for us. Thank you.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we praise and thank you for the many gifts you have bestowed upon us. Send your continued blessings upon the Boy Scouts of America here in Harford County. Keep them as a shining example of service to you and this great community. We also ask your blessings upon Eddie, who has demonstrated the traits of a good scout through his word and deed during his many years of work and service in Harford County. Keep him close to you, O Lord, so that he may continue to be your good and faithful servant. Finally, Lord, we ask your blessing upon all those viewing this event. May their light shine for all to see, so that this world will continue to be a better place to be in. We ask all this in the holy name of Jesus. Amen.
Again, thank you all for joining us as we honor an amazing community individual and show our support for scouting in Harford County. Sponsorships and contributions for the Good Scout event go directly to supporting over 2,000 scouts and scouters in Harford County. We are pleased to recognize all of our sponsors, and we'll be hearing from several in a bit. This year, our individual scout sponsors are Farrell Fuel Company, the Town of Bel Air, Stephen and Terry Troy, Bill and Louise Kelly, the Harford County Chamber of Commerce, Deborah Williams, Lester Grimm, Wargo's Restaurant and Tavern, Jim and Janine Butcher, Corbin Fuel Company, and Plaza Ford. This year, our first-class sponsors are the Harford County Public Library, Kevin Farrell, Forest Hill Business Air Park, Senator Bob Casserly, Service Engineering Company, Harford Community College, David Schwaber, University of Maryland, Upper Chesapeake Health, James Volk, Harford County Deputy Sheriff's Union, Tony and Jeannie Mioli, Harford Bank. And our Life Scout sponsors are APG Federal Credit Union, Edward and Cristie Hopkins, William Cox, Snee, Luch, Hemlinger, and Spielberger, PA, Howard and Judy McComas, Gemcraft Homes, McComas Family Funeral Homes, David and Diane Dixon, and our Eagle Scout sponsor is Harford County, Maryland.
Hi, I'm Joe Snee.
Hello, I'm Steve Luch.
Hello, I'm Colleen Hemlinger.
Hi there, Gail Spielberger.
Hello, I'm Laura Bechtel.
And we are Snee, Luch, Hemlinger, and Spielberger, PA. All together now, congratulations, Ed Hopkins. Well deserved.
Ed, Judy and I would like to congratulate you for being the 2021 Harford County Good Scout Award honoree. Your service to the Scouts and to Harford County exemplifies what scouting is all about, and we congratulate you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Monica Worrell, Business Development Director with APG Federal Credit Union. We're committed to building strong families for a stronger community. Our membership is free and open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, or goes to school in Harford or Cecil County. Now, it's been said that a scout is never taken by surprise. They know exactly what to do when the unexpected happens. When you think of this year's Good Scout honoree, Eddie Hopkins, no truer words were spoken. So on behalf of APG Federal Credit Union, congrats, Eddie.
Hey, Eddie, congratulations on the Good Scout Award. I can't think of anybody more fitting to receive that, especially as much as you're involved in the community and historically been involved in scouting. So great job. I tell you, coming from a family with 3 generations of scouting, I can tell you the value that we have all felt over the years and what scouting has brought to us. So congratulations to you and congratulations to everybody that's involved in scouting.
Hi, this is Harford County Executive Barry Glassman. I am so honored and privileged to congratulate Eddie Hopkins on his selection as the Good Scout for 2021. I am so proud of Eddie's work not only here in Harford County, but throughout the state of Maryland. The Boy Scouts of America could not have picked a better selection than Eddie for his selfless service, his volunteerism, and his integrity in the community. We are so fortunate to have him here in Harford County serving our citizens and also being such a great representative of all the ideas of the Boy Scouts of America and scouting as we move forward. So congratulations, Eddie. We are proud of you. We thank the Boy Scouts of America and the Baltimore Area Council for all of their work here in Harford County, and we continue to promote all the good ideas that scouting sends to our young people here in Harford County and the state of Maryland. Take care and God bless.
Before we continue our presentation, I'd like to take a moment to thank our Good Scout Steering Committee. Led by Good Scout Chair LYLE Sheldon, this group was responsible for not only putting the program together, but raising significant dollars to support scouting right here in our communities. Thank you to all of the great volunteers that were a part of making this another successful year for our Good Scout. event.
Hello, my name is Joseph Spencer, and I am Eagle Scout number 135 of Troop 777 in Bel Air, Maryland. I've been in scouting almost my whole life, first joining the program as a Cub Scout at the beginning of first grade, then bridging over to Boy Scouts near the end of fifth grade, and finally, just a few months ago, my time in the program as a youth has come to an end. I've had just so many great experiences in scouting over the years, and now that I am out of the program, it's really interesting to look back and see how scouting has led me to who I am today. First and foremost, scouting has taught me how to be a good leader and has shown me the value in service, two traits certainly exemplified by our award recipient today. Throughout 2019 and 2020, I served as the senior patrol leader for my troop. As the head of command for my 60-person troop, it was certainly not a trivial task, which is exactly why it was so significant towards my development as a leader. I remember when the lockdowns first started. We only stopped meetings for 1 week before we were able to transition to virtual meetings. Seeing how quickly we were able to adapt and how well my patrols performed under the new circumstances, I feel is a testament to the be prepared mentality that scouting promotes. Now, I feel that leadership is one of the greatest skills that I have developed in scouting, but I also feel that scouting instills an appreciation for service. On a yearly basis, there are just so many service opportunities that my troop is involved in, like the food bank, Adopt a Highway, many Eagle Scout projects around the community, and of course, putting fresh mulch down for our sponsoring organization, Bel Air United Methodist Church. It's always nice to have an opportunity to give back to your community, especially when it's in a way that you can still hang out and have fun with your friends. And speaking of fun, well, it's just plain fun to be a scout. All the campouts, hikes, and backpacking trips over the years are such a unique experience. One that especially comes to mind is Klondike, a scout skills competition. I always think back to us beating on a drum as we give our patrol cheer, then quickly packing up, heading back to the trail, and running through the mud to our next station. I swear, we must be cursed. For the past couple of years now, we just keep getting second place. We'll win one day. And of course, high adventure trips are simply incredible. Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico especially is one of my favorite ones. There is nothing quite as surreal as starting to climb Mount Phillips in 85-degree weather, and then on the same day as you reach the summit, getting caught in a hailstorm. Overall, scouting has been an amazing experience for me, in a socially, developmentally, and a simply fun way. As I reach Eagle Scout just under a year ago now, I certainly see what a great impact scouting has had on me, and I hope that others of my and future generations have that same opportunity to partake in scouting. Thank you.
When my father Eddie was growing up, my grandfather was a World War II veteran and a Bel Air volunteer fireman. He challenged my father to live his life with respect, integrity, and above all, a sense of community and a willingness to help others. Eddie would not only accept his dad's challenge and follow his footsteps into becoming a Bel Air volunteer fireman, but he would also go on to work at Harford County Sheriff's Office, the Town of Bel Air, and most recently, Harford County Emergency Services. If you haven't noticed the theme yet, police, fire, EMS, his entire career is revolved around helping others and working to make his community a better place. Now, the town and neighborhoods of Bel Air and Harford County were much smaller when Eddie grew up, but his sense of community hasn't changed the slightest. And like his dad before him, he installed these values of community and helping others into my two older brothers and I, guiding us along our Boy Scout careers and helping us all do our best to serve our community and eventually become Eagle Scouts. Dad, I'm so sorry I can't be there in person today, but I'm so proud of you. Congrats, and I know Granddad would be too.
Welcome, Harford County, friends of scouting. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you, but it was important for me to share a few comments about the Good Scout Award in Harford County. My name's Ken Miller. I'm the Scout Executive and CEO for the Baltimore Area Council, and I'm pleased to be with you. Scouting's been a little challenging the last year, as it has with all of us with COVID. We're excited to see Broad Creek Memorial Scout Reservation open back up this summer at capacity with over 1,000 scouts attending. How exciting is that? Broad Creek's undergoing a major transformation with capital improvements that we've done last year and are going to continue to do to make Broad Creek one of the best scout camps in the nation. So last year, scouting continued during COVID. I'm pleased to tell you that over 498 individuals earned their Eagle Scout Award. I say individuals because last year was the first year that we had young ladies eligible to become Eagle Scouts. 17 young women became Eagle Scouts, one of the largest class of women Eagle Scouts in the country. So we were really proud as a council to represent that. We also held our Scouting for Food drive, It's always been important, but last year it was vitally important. And I'm pleased to tell you, we collected over 300,000 pounds of food that was distributed locally within the greater Baltimore area to help those families that needed it so badly this year. We know communities are better because of scouting. There is no doubt. The things that scouting teaches our young people, self-reliance, leadership skills, I'm not sure they get at other places. And it makes them better community leaders, and it makes our communities better because of what they've learned. So your support is vitally important. I know Harford County has had a great tradition of scouting, and we're looking to continue to build on that. I wanted to take a moment to thank LYLE SHELDON, who has served as the chair of the Harford County Good Scout event for the past 2 years. LYLE, we're going to come visit you in person, but on behalf of the Baltimore Area Council, we are going to present you with this really nice scouting logoed award to thank you for your service. I hope you put this in your office, and it gives you the opportunity to remember all the good you've done for the youth in Harford County that are participating in scouting. I look forward to being with you all in person next year. Thank you for your support. It is vitally important.
Hi, this is County Executive Barry Glassman. We are so proud today to present the Good Scout Award to our own Eddie Hopkins, my Director of the Department of Emergency Services. And as usual, the Boy Scouts have chosen wisely. Eddie has a great tradition of service, not only in municipal government, but local and state. So on behalf of all the citizens of Harford County, thank you for being there, thank you for your service, and thank you for all of your good work in the Boy Scouts of America. On behalf of my Director Ben Lloyd and Billy Boniface, we are so proud to present you this citation from Harford County government.
Thank you, Billy. Good morning. I'm here with my colleagues from the Harford County Council. We want to congratulate Eddie Hopkins on his receiving the Good Scout Award. I personally have had the opportunity to know Eddie since he was a very young boy, coming in the bakery back door with his dad to get the donuts that he referenced. I've watched him grow throughout his public service and his great work that he does for all of our Harford County citizens. No doubt he learned it at an early age through scouting. I wish him all the best in the future, and I wish him a clear path on his service to others on and on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Gentlemen. So I would like to present him with this proclamation by the County Council, signed by all the members. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Curtis, thank you. I appreciate it.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Hello everyone, my name is Susan Burdette, and I have the great honor and extreme pleasure to introduce our Harford hero, friend, and recipient of the prestigious Good Scout Award, Eddie Hopkins. Eddie's name became familiar to me in 1975 when I started working for the Harford County Public Library, and as years passed and I became more in awe of him and the many public service hats he wore, I finally was thrilled to serve with him on the Town of Bel Air Board of Commissioners. Eddie was born and raised in Bel Air, serving his community since 1973 as a volunteer firefighter and paramedic. He served with the Sheriff's Office from 1976, retiring in 2003 as a lieutenant. He was supervisor of the Maryland Crimes Unit and director of the Harford County Child Advocacy Unit and director of Public and Media Relations. He returned in 2012 and finished his career as appointed Chief Deputy. He also served 5 years as Director of External Affairs and Deputy Director of Operations for MEMA. Eddie currently serves as the Director of the Harford County Department of Emergency Services. That concludes the hours where Eddie collects a salary. Here are a few of the many ways Eddie donates his time to his community. He served 8 years as Bel Air Town Commissioner and Mayor. He is a life member of the Bel Air Volunteer Fire Company, where he served as Fire Chief and Board President. And he raised 3 sons, all of whom have attained the rank of Eagle Scout. He has always been an advocate of promoting community and civic ideals and teaching our youth leadership skills to carry on this advocacy. And finally, when he has free time to enjoy himself, he is drawn to the glory of mountains, the wind and freedom of a motorcycle, the perfect place to read on a beach, and sitting around a campfire with family and friends. There are many quotes by the great Lord Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting. I chose a few that describe Eddie Hopkins perfectly. The real way to gain happiness is to give it to others. A scout smiles and whistles under all circumstances. A scout is never taken by surprise. He knows exactly what to do when anything unexpected happens. There is no teaching to compare with example, and the man who is blind to the beauties of nature has missed half the pleasures of life. It is no mistake that Eddie has been drawn to public service and especially emergency service all his life. He is strong, calm, and wise under duress when others are facing peril. He has a voice that is constantly controlled and calm. He is truly a leader. There is a poem that puts Eddie's leadership skills in perspective. Here is a small excerpt. When the storms of life gather darkly ahead, I think of these wonderful words I once read. And I say to myself, as threatening clouds hover, don't fold up your wings and run for cover. But like the eagle, spread wide your wings and soar far above the troubles life brings. For the eagle knows that the higher he flies, the more tranquil and brighter become the skies. Eddie, you are Harford's eagle, and with pride and honor, I now introduce Mr. Edward Hopkins.
Greetings. By way of introduction, my name is LYLE Sheldon, proud recipient of the 2019 Harford County Good Scout Award. On behalf of Scouting, the Harford District of the Baltimore Area Council of Boy Scouts of America, and the past winners of the Harford County Good Scout Award, I welcome you to the 2021 Harford County Good Scout event. I want to do a shout out to the active volunteers of the Good Scout Committee who displayed admirable persistence and perseverance in planning the event and embraced fundraising for our Scout programs during this pandemic. For those committee members listening in and viewing, thank you. The former honorees of this award are Harford County's who's who of community servants and leaders. For those honorees listening in and viewing, thank you. And certainly, the reason we're all here today is to show our support for Scouting and recognition of our 2021 Harford County Good Scout Award honoree, Eddie Hopkins. When I think of Eddie and the roles he has served and the organizations he has represented in Harford County, 2 thoughts come to mind. The first is wow, wow. And the second is the Scout motto, be prepared. As Baden-Powell said, the founder of Scouting wrote that to be prepared means you are always in a state of readiness, in mind and body, to do your duty. As Susan BURDETTE stated in her comments, Eddie has lived a lifetime of community service and being prepared for Harford County residents. The Bel Air Volunteer Fire Company, the Harford County Sheriff's Office, the Harford County Department of Emergency Services, and the town of Bel Air. Like I said, wow. With all of these roles and organization, Eddie's always needed to be prepared. With all of his roles, Eddie was being prepared, whether it was to respond to an automobile accident or a building fire with the fire department, or responding to a domestic dispute or the next press conference with the sheriff's office, or the next natural disaster with the Harford County Department of Emergency Services, always in a state of being prepared. When it comes to his role in Scouting, I say wow again. He and his wife Cristie are proud parents of 3, I repeat, 3 sons that all achieved Scout's highest honor, Eagle Scout. Wow again. Without further ado, Eddie Hopkins, our 2021 Harford County Good Scout Award recipient. Eddie? Do I need to grab these? Okay. Well, no, Cristie will take care of it. Okay. So the Stetson hat. When designing the iconic uniform for Boy Scouts, Robert Peyton Powell drew on the hat worn by Frederick Russell Burnham, the celebrated American Scout during his service as Chief of Scouts in the British Army in the 1890s. He prescribed a campaign hat as part of the Scout uniform, which he stated, "The broad-brimmed khaki hat is a good protection from sun and rain." The Boy Scout Handbook is the official handbook of the Boy Scouts of America. It is a descendant of Peyton Howell's original handbook, Scouting for Boys, which has been the basis for Scout handbooks in many countries, with some variations to the text of the book depending on each country's codes and customs. The hiking stick. Hiking poles or hiking sticks are used by hikers for a wide variety of purposes: to clear spider webs or part thick bushes or grass obscuring the trail, or when you're on the trail and you come to out in Philmont, the porta potty.
Yep.
As a support when going uphill or brake when going downhill, as a balance point when crossing streams, swamps, or other rough terrain, to feel for obstacles in the path, to test mud and puddles for depth, and as a defense against wild animals. The neckerchief. The Scouting movement makes the neckerchief part of its uniform. A generally ceremonial item, their neckerchief is taught to be a practical wilderness item in the Scouting tradition. Their neckerchief, unrolled, is designed to be the perfect size for use as a triangular bandage for first aid. The woggle. A traditional Turk's head knot, the woggle has no beginning and no end, and is used to fasten a Scout neckerchief. The ideal Scout statute. This special statute, originally sculpted by Dr. Mackenzie, who served Scouting in Philadelphia from 1911 to 1938, Dr. Mackenzie wanted to portray the grand traits of character he knew in the Scouting movement instilled in young people. Note the uncovered head representing reverence and obedience. The axe on which the hand rests was a symbol of George Washington's truthfulness. On the perimeter base of the statuette are the 12 points of the Scout's law: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And last, not a formal part of the program, but I'm actually wearing an official Boy Scout bow tie. So Eddie, if you can tie it, I'll give it to you.
Unfortunately, no.
Here you go. Barry, you his boss? Are you his boss? All right, you can teach him how to tie this Boy Scout bow tie, since he wears a bow tie. All right?
Okay, all right.
All right, so before I actually introduce our 2021 Good Scout awardee, Cristie, we have some flowers for you. All right, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, I present the 2021 Harford County Good Scout, Eddie Hopkins. Eddie.
So a little embarrassed. I wasn't prepared as I thought. I would have practiced the bow tie before I got here. Thank you, Lyle, for the wonderful introduction. To be introduced by you, someone for whom I have tremendous respect and admiration, is an honor in and of itself. I also want to thank the Harford County 2021 Good Scout Award Committee, comprised of Lyle Sheldon, Debbie Williams, Joe Snee, Monica Worrell, Ken Farrar, Sarah Klein, Mary Chance, Terry Troy, Mary Hassler, Melinda Craig, Bill Cox, Sandy Linkus, Steve Anderson, Casey Snyder, and Claire Yortomo for their support of me in selecting me for this award. And if you're wondering why I read each of those names that are on the committee, it's because each of those individuals has contributed so much to our community in Harford County, and it's so humbling to be honored and recognized by that group of people. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank Casey Snyder from the Boy Scouts, who along with his team did an amazing amount of legwork in bringing this virtual event together. And yes, we are virtual. Behind me is not a green screen. This is the real Liriodendron, the place of my childhood, complete with the hundreds of thousands of cicadas who joined us willingly and graciously today to provide background music. And to Arden McLeod and John Street and the entire Liriodendron Foundation for letting us film here, thank you so much. Thank you too to County Executive Barry Glassman and past Mayor of Bel Air, Susan Burdette, and others for their kind words and thoughtful comments. And lastly to my wife, Cristie, my Eagle Scout son, Chris, Rob, and Dan, my stepchildren, Lucy and Jacob, my brother Phil and his family, and 3 of my closest friends, John Gallagher, Tom Burkmeyer, and Mike Lockery, all here today. One doesn't get to do what they love and enjoy doing without the strong and unwavering support of loved ones who believe in you. As I just mentioned, my 3 sons are Eagle Scouts. I'm immensely proud of Chris, Rob, and Dan, who have honored our family, their friends, our community, and Scouting, achieving Scouting's highest honor and growing into adulthood with careers in the military, health and medicine, and health sciences fields, living the Scout Ode and abiding by the 12 points of Scout law to better themselves and their community. I proudly wear the Eagle Dad pin they gave me on my uniform today and every day. So, good day everyone, and thank you for attending or watching this event virtually. It is such a privilege and honor to be recognized, especially for something that I truly enjoy doing, but never did so with the expectation of getting an award, let alone an award as prestigious as this one. My mom and dad were my greatest role models, followed by a select group of other Bel Air moms and dads who were instrumental in raising me whether they knew it or not. Without them, I would not be who I am today. As I thought about my remarks today, I struggled. Usually award recipients have funny anecdotes or stories about adventures that somehow tie into their award. Honestly and admittedly, I don't have a lot of funny stories, at least those ones that I can share publicly. But I do have, so I did turn to thoughts of inspiration. Keeping in mind that inspiration doesn't always make for an exciting speech sometimes, I did want to share 3 unusually profound moments that to the average person appear as everyday actions of another, but in reality are quite the opposite. Unlike most authors who start their story, it was a dark and stormy night. Mine is a little different. It starts in the fall of probably 1966 or 1967, and my first recollection of volunteering. I was going door to door with my dad and other volunteer firefighters, collecting canned foods and money to support the fire company's annual chicken dinner, which back in the 1960s was a pretty big deal in the community. I was really excited. Got to ride on the fire engine, wear some fire company gear. I was one of the guys. I felt so big riding with my dad in that 1937 Mack. It was huge for me, but more importantly, it unknowingly set the stage for what it meant to be part of a community, and I emphasize the word community. For after that, I was at the station constantly and saw these huge firemen helping people in the community in so many ways and wanted to be a part of it. All I truly ever wanted to be was a volunteer firefighter and ride that 37 Mack with my dad for real. But I had to wait till I was 16, and I'll come back to that a little later. Along the way, I saw my dad and others like him quietly supporting their community in so many ways. I emphasize quietly because firefighting is exciting and it's bold. But my father and others never sought gratitude nor the spotlight. They took care of those who needed help. They looked in on the elderly, they mowed lawns and repaired faulty equipment when someone couldn't afford it, quite thrifty I would say. They shoveled snow, helpful. They reverently supported families in times of sorrow and grief. They rode fire trucks and ambulances and treated injuries and illness, smiled and engaged with people. They treated people with respect and dignity. They knew what to do and how to do it, always prepared, I would add. Trusted by the community, facing crisis head-on and responding bravely into danger. While they may have had a warped sense of humor at times, they were nonetheless cheerful. Are you sensing a theme here? So overall, their gratification was knowing they helped someone who needed help. They did what they did because it was the right thing to do. A year or two later, I watched my dad shovel snow from the sidewalk of Bel Air Bakery. If you knew Jimmy the Baker Hamilton, the donuts had to be made. Business didn't close for a snowstorm. And it wasn't about the free cup of coffee afterwards. It allowed Jimmy to focus on his business that morning. Who would think shoveling snow would have such a huge impact on me? But to this day, I vividly remember watching my dad and thinking, wow, he was helping someone who needed it, and he did it without thinking twice. A few years later, as a young teen, my friends and I all pitched in for several years to help Doc Street from Boyd & Fulford's and Captain Jim McMahon, 2 longtime adult role models for me, hang Christmas lights on the light poles on Main Street in town. It wasn't a job. We weren't ordered to do it. We hadn't been in trouble, so there was no community service necessary. It was simply a reflexive action based on what we saw our community leaders doing, and it was the right thing to do for our community. Those same friends came back together on February 2nd, 1972, the day of the Main Street fire. The fire had consumed several buildings and was threatening Boyd & Fulford. We rallied at Boyd & Fulford's and carried whatever we could to safety that morning to help the streets from experiencing a total loss. Why? Because that's what you do. My dad was well known because he loved people and loved talking to people. He was networking long before it became a term of art. He always knew a guy and not in that New York, New Jersey sort of way. He taught me the strength and bond of a good handshake. He taught me how to use common sense, which standing here today in 90-degree heat in a Class A uniform doesn't really exhibit common sense, but we'll move on. The benefit of why you should always carry a pocket knife was something else he taught me. We hunted and fished. But sadly, I never got to ride that 37 Mack with him or fight fire. He died 2 years later while working at the fire station. As you can imagine, my brother and I were devastated. But every adult male with whom we had met through our dad or on our own, took on a leadership and mentorship role. No one asked them to do that. They just did it. Of everything he and they taught me, building, protecting, and supporting our community was most important. Helping people through whatever crisis they're suffering is the key to being a good leader and a good person. And let's not forget my mom. Where Dad taught me the skills a young boy needed, my mom taught me kindness and compassion. She was a warm and gentle woman who countless times had us helping neighbors and those in need. Again, why? Because it was the right thing to do. 50-some years ago, life was different for our youth. 3 sports: baseball, football, basketball. No cell phones, no social media. Today, life has changed as social media and numerous after-school sports and activities have become challenging and dynamic for our youth. Life is busy. Few people take time for themselves, let alone others. Many do not take on leadership roles or have the time to mentor our youth or provide guidance to youth in need of direction. An unintended consequence of this is the inability or lack of desire to help others in need. Keep in mind that 50 years ago, helping someone might have meant mowing their lawn. Today, helping someone involves people who suffer from mental illness and addiction. Times have certainly changed, and not being involved or willing to help does not sustain a community. And with no sense of community or leadership, towns and cities simply do not and will not survive. So yeah, our youth have many choices, and we want scouting to be one of them. It's one thing to go camping virtually, or see pictures of rock formations, or wade into the ocean at the beach. When you can, in reality, get into the woods and commune with nature, you can physically touch the rock formation, or you can go diving in the Florida Keys. It's one thing to be a virtual team leader for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, and another to actually lead a team of scouts on a 5-day wilderness hike at Philmont. Scouting teaches engagement and develops leaders. They provide mentors and role models. They live what they teach and genuinely care about their community. And when you need someone skilled in first aid, emergency preparedness, cooking, environmental sciences, digital technology, citizenship in the community, or training in any of the over 135 merit badges, then you need to look no further than the competent young men and women trained and skilled to build, support, protect, lead, and sustain their communities. In other words, a scout. Many of the role models of my youth have sadly passed. I will forever remember them. They were some of the most caring, amazing, and compassionate people who, like all of you watching and here today, believe in their community, especially the importance of building and sustaining that community. But they have handed the torch to my generation, and we need to pass the torch on to the next. And who better to look out for the future of Harford County, Maryland, or the United States than a scout? My father taught scouts first aid, but was not a scout. And I was a Cub Scout for all of the New York Minute. But everything he and Mom taught me, and what I live by every day, is memorialized in the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Words and actions to live by then, now, and in the future. In closing, please let me say I am overwhelmed by the amount of support from our local community members have given in recognition of me, but more importantly, for the benefit of youth served by the Baltimore Area Council, Boy Scouts of America. Today, we have raised over $26,000. Did you know that it costs approximately $200 per scout to run this amazing program? I'm asking those who are watching this virtual presentation to consider an individual or corporate contribution to scouting and support character-based leadership development programs for our youth. You can do so by logging on to baltimorebsa.org/Harford Gives to support scouting. Your additional support will make a difference in the lives of young people. Thank you to everyone for such a wonderful honor that you have bestowed on me. I cherish it greatly. And for all you do for the future of our communities in Harford County, I also thank you.
Once again, congratulations, Eddie, for being named the 2021 Harford County Good Scout. You truly exemplify what it means to be a good scout. To those watching the program this evening, please remember to visit www.baltimorebsa.org/Harford Gives to make a personal or corporate contribution to scouting in Harford County. The youth we serve needs and deserves your support. Thank you again for your support of our event this evening. We look forward to seeing everyone in person in 2022.